A picture-perfect day from Sloan Park in Mesa, Arizona, and in the Phoenix metropolitan area. There is no shortage of love here for the Chicago Cubs. And man, there sure is a lot to love about this Cubbies team. Welcome to 30 Clubs, 30 Camps. I'm Siera Santos alongside Jake Peavy. And Jake, today we are here at Cubs Camp. And Craig Counsell, he's entering the third year of his tenure. You have to think he got this team to the postseason for the first time since 2020. They got their first playoff win since 2017.
Yeah, they won a series. This team put a really good San Diego team out of the mix. And look, down to the final game of Milwaukee series, a lot of us would have liked to have seen what they could have done versus the world champion Dodgers. But this team, you really saw Craig Counsell effect start to take hold. It takes some time to get your people in year one. Last year, the way he managed the bullpen, the fundamentally sound team, and the way these superstars played, I can't see this year going any different than last year. A lot of winning on the north side.
One win shy away from an NLCS berth,
right.
And what the fans were clamoring for was a big fish, a big free agent signing, and they got it.
Yeah, look, when you make this kind of postseason run and then add Alex Bregman to that mix, you're talking about getting Justin Steele back sometime. This Cub team is better than last year. And then Alex Bregman, for him to choose to come to Chicago, this guy talks the word win and winning more than anybody you've been around. He certainly liked what he saw enough to join forces. This team's poised and ready. Standing by with the biggest addition off that board, Alex Bregman. Alex, congrats on the deal. Congrats on a great career so far.
Thank you.
Why Chicago? You had a lot of teams, a lot of suitors. What won out with Chicago?
Well, I think first and foremost, they valued what we valued, me and my family, and I think it's a great place that I have a chance to win. I think this ball club is primed and ready. Obviously, they were in the playoffs last year. These guys know what it takes to win, and I feel like we have a good opportunity to win a lot of baseball games here. Hopefully play some meaningful baseball in October at Wrigley would be awesome.
When Chicago fans love you, they really love you. And you did the entire car wash. You did Bears, Blackhawks, Bulls all in 1 week. Fans are already so hyped up for you. What's it been like to have them immediately embrace you?
No, it was super cool. Obviously, my wife and I and our two boys went to Chicago. We went to the Blackhawks, the Bulls, the Bears, and they welcomed us with open arms right away. So we've had a great time in our short month and a half of being a part of this organization, and it's been first class from the fans to the organization to my teammates to everybody here, and we're looking forward to it.
Blackhawks national anthem, pretty cool, huh?
Oh, unreal. It's the best. It's the best.
I want to talk to you about your leadership qualities. We hear so much about you get Alex Bregman on site and he takes over with leadership and just a love for the other people. First off, incredible. But where does it come from? Somebody had to show you this. It certainly starts probably with your parents. But who did you learn from in the game that you passed this on?
Well, I feel like early in my career I was fortunate enough to be around guys like Brian McCann, Carlos Beltran, Justin Verlander, guys that came in and taught us how to prepare, taught us how to win, and we're leaders. And just try to pick up a little bit from them and their desire to win every single day. And I always loved competing, loved winning, and wanted to do that with whatever team I'm on. So I think getting to know your teammates and getting to know what drives them and motivates them is important, and it helps when teams communicate are on the same page, and I've learned that from those guys early in my career.
The man can do it all. Alex, good to see you. Best of luck in 26, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We really appreciate the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Pete Crow-Armstrong inserted himself into MVP conversations after a breakout first half in 2025, earning himself a start in the All-Star game. While the second half of the season left room for improvement, he's ready to bring the consistency. Here's Jake with PCA.
All right, I'm with the man who in Chicago needs no introduction. Look, I've watched you all morning getting drug around here. I hear the fans yelling, you're a superstar in Chicago and now across the world. How are you handling all the attention?
I'm getting used to it slowly but surely. I think Chicago's it's an easy place to do it. I think the people, the fans, they all make it easy. So I'm enjoying it, but I'm still finding my time to be quiet, be peaceful, and keep to myself.
You got to. Obviously, the grind. We talked about what the pulls off the field are, but the on the field. Now you're a couple years in and really feel like you're settled. How is the baseball, the mental fortitude? I watched your show last year. It was incredible. What's that process like?
That's developing for sure. I mean, it's. I feel like that's one of the last pieces to the puzzle where I feel like I could take another big step. Because I didn't handle myself well all year. I think when I was hot, when it was going good, it was really easy to take that for granted, and I could have used that time to continue to work on myself, even when the stuff was good, so I could be prepared for all the bad that came with the second half, and I think I would have been better for it.
Look, one of the most things I love about you is you're emotional, and like you said, you don't handle it all. Look, emotions are a good thing. It shows you care. I watched you down the stretch, coming out of the second half after an unbelievable all-star first half, struggle a little bit. I watched there down the stretch in September into the playoffs. You continually make adjustments to come through in some big spots. I know you weren't going to give away secrets. Tell me about the second half. Mentally, physically, that's the toughest thing you've been through so far as a professional?
Yeah, I mean, physically, I keep getting surprised with the fact that it actually feels easier to keep my body right in a good place just because we got the resources. Like, I'm able to eat enough, sleep. We got incredible recovery process that we can get through or go through, and that's all easy to me. I want to be out there every day, and if I'm hanging, I know I'm not the only one, so I go out there and just do the thing. But
the thing I love.
Sorry.
No. The thing I love about you guys is that you play both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
When you're talking about maybe struggling a little bit, the defensive side of the ball, when you talk about Dansby, when you talk about your effort, Gold Glove for the first time. Growing up, who'd you watch playing center field?
Kutch. Kutch was big. I mean, I went back into the archives and watched people that I may not have seen on TV growing up. If we're gonna date some people, Kenny Lofton, Griffey, obviously.
I heard Sut told Griffey you're better than him.
Sut. Honestly, both those guys have been huge supporters of mine. But Sut will go around and talk smack to the best in the world like it's nothing. So I chose to stay silent with that one and let them go at it. But Griffey's been huge for me, and he's instilled a lot of confidence in me in being a part of the left-handed center fielder family. So,
well, you're upholding that family and doing just fine. Taking care of other people. I've watched you talk to clubhouse staff. I've watched and I hear about you bringing the Wrigley staff together, Boys and Girls Club coming out. You're a young guy. Where did that come from? How'd you get this thoughtful at a young age?
Well, my parents. Yeah, I mean, that's the easy answer, but that's also there's the most truth to that. They're both very thoughtful, cerebral people. My mother is an angel, and I think she's got a lot of love to give. So I'd say she probably rubbed off on me the most, but I understand that, I don't need to sign for the people with the autograph books and all that stuff. That's not where I get my kick from. I think the impression that I'm going to make on the younger crowd and the ones that are going to continue the game for me when I'm done, those are the ones that are going to remember the little interactions, no matter how big, no matter how small. So that's where I get the most joy. And then, staff members, clubhouse, they grind with us in the same sort of way. They're there every home game, every day. So I appreciate them, and I enjoy recognizing the work that they do as well.
Well, you do a great job of it. And last thing I got for you is goals. Do you set any goals? What's PCA after this year? We certainly know the playoff experience was incredible. You want to get back there. Personally, your goals for this season?
Yeah, I don't think it really has anything to do with numbers or the back of the baseball card. I think I just want to be healthy. I want to be on the field for 162. I felt like I was right there. I played 157, I think, regular season last year, and those 5 I didn't play kind of sit with me in a way that, I watch Happer go out there every day. I watch Dansby go out there every day, and if they can do it, I definitely can. And I think that's something to really take pride in, playing the position I do, being really good in the outfield, defense being a big part of my repertoire. I think being out there every day is the main goal going into every year.
I love it. PCA, you've been a pleasure to get to know, to watch in baseball. Good luck in 2026.
Thank you, Peace.
Kids, you looking for a new favorite player out there? I got you one right here. Siera, back to you.
Which Cubs bold prediction is most likely to come true in 2026? Pete Crow-Armstrong posts a 40-40 season, Alex Bregman finishing in the top 5 in NL MVP voting, Seiya Suzuki leading the NL in RBI, or the Cubs winning their first NL pennant since 2016. Keep it here, you'll find out which way the North Side faithful sway. Dansby, this spring training's got to feel a little bit different because you got a new teammate. I'm not talking about Breggy, I'm talking about Josie. How's it been going?
Oh, she's the best. She's, I mean, just truly like God's greatest blessing. Just so sweet, so smiley, you know, just every time I go home, I just pick her up and just honestly hug her and hold on to her because she's so sweet. Yeah, it's just like the biggest blessing you could ask for.
Routine a little bit different in the morning?
A little bit, yeah,
Okay.
A little bit. I was never that big of like an early riser, and
Yeah, me neither.
now I have started to become an early riser just because you have to. But yeah, it's really the coolest thing ever.
Career high 20 stolen bases last season. Was that a goal? Are we setting the bar higher this season?
I keep telling her I'm Dansby Button, just aging like fine wine, maybe going backwards here soon. I kind of got in a groove, especially in the second half with running. Just felt like I was trusting my instincts and making things happen on the base paths. Once I started getting closer to 20, it became a little bit of a goal. And you know, I got it on the second to last day of the season. But I think just at the end of the day, you can impact the game in so many ways. On the bases, stealing bases, ball in play, running the bases, defense, offense. There's so many ways to help the team win, and that's really the most important thing.
Okay, let's talk about that defense. What does it mean to you to be so highly revered defensively?
Ever since I was 5, 6 years old, I was just obsessed with playing shortstop. Like I loved what it meant to be a shortstop, like just the kind of influence you can have on the team as a defender. And once again, if you're about winning, if you want to win, like you have to play defense. That's a component of the game that can win playoff series, it can win World Series, it can win games. Like they always say defense wins championships, and you know, I really believe in that.
Got another veteran infielder now. What's it been like these first few weeks with Breggy?
I love Breggy. We've obviously been closely tied with one another for over 10 years now, which is kind of crazy to say, but I've always had so much respect for him. We played together in college summer ball one year. We've always had such respect for one another, and just this chance to be able to play together, I think, is something I've been wanting and hoping for the last few years. Obviously, it didn't work out last season, but for them to be able to make it happen this year, I think is a huge boost for us. Just what he means, you know, in the clubhouse, on the field, he just brings so much to our team that is going to make us a lot better.
Congrats on the new addition.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Manager interviews are presented by Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball.
Just call it the Wrigleyville of the South, as there's never a shortage of Cubs faithful at Sloan Park. We are back for more 30 clubs, 30 camps in Mesa, Arizona. The Cubs rotation boasted the 8th best ERA in baseball last year. This year, they're welcoming Edward Cabrera into the stable and hope to get Justin Steele back before the Midsummer Classic. 2025 saw Cade Horton go on a tear, posting a 1.03 ERA in 12 starts before the All-Star break. He joins Jake Peavy.
All right, I'm here with right-hander Cade Horton. Cade, first off, incredible year, 11-4 with a 2.6, finished second in Rookie of the Year. Congratulations on an amazing first season. What'd you learn that first year in the big leagues about being a big leaguer?
Yeah, I think, you know, just going about it the right way, you know, how to handle myself in a clubhouse, how to focus on the routine and the processes of, you know, a long season. I think that was the biggest thing for me. So yeah, I'm excited for year 2.
Year 2, now you come into camp, and camp looks a whole lot different. I've been this guy before that was fighting for a job. Last year, you're trying to make it to the big leagues. This year, you come to camp off that year knowing you're on the team, so you don't have to impress, so to speak. By the way, you're throwing 98 already. but you get to work on things and build up towards that first start. How's this camp going? What are you working on?
Yeah, it's going really well. I finished last year, I felt like in a good spot, and so I think this camp I'm just focused on refining. I think that the game will show me, later on in the season what I need to work on and get better at. But for me, I feel like all the shapes are in a good spot. Now it's just all about getting reps and getting ready to go.
You talked about being healthy, missing the playoffs last year. I think a lot of people would say if you were in that series, it could have went the other way. You could have met the Dodgers. You're healthy, first off. Missing the playoffs has to be gut-wrenching and something you want a part of.
Yeah, it definitely was not how we drew it up last year. I felt like I was in a good spot, and then just, a crazy injury. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this year. We got a really good group, and I think we'll make some noise in the postseason this year.
I see a big red-headed guy walking around here who had a huge influence on my career. Rick Sutcliffe, won a Cy Young in Chicago, pushed me to do the same. You listening to Red Baron around here?
Yeah, I listen to him a lot.
Is he cutting up?
Yeah, all the time. Great guy to have around. Just it's awesome to be able to pick his brain and learn from him.
He cuts up a ton. He's got a ton of knowledge in there about pitching as well. Cade Horton, big fan. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for the time. Best of luck in 26. Siera,
Thank you.
Back to you.
Well, Cade Horton has cemented himself as a big leaguer. Moises Ballesteros hopes to be the Cubs' primary DH in 2026. Meanwhile, the Cubs' top pitching prospect, Jackson Wiggins, began last season in High A and finished in Triple-A Iowa. The Cubs have up-and-coming talent on the horizon. Time for the manager interview presented by Sage, and for that we welcome in Craig Counsell. And Craig, it's good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you guys.
I want to ask you about the differences in year one to year two. Obviously, year one didn't probably go the way it is, but it's your first year in a new place. Last year, we see the Craig Counsell effect. The Cubs go and look like the team. What was the differences in those 2 years, you think? Just getting your feet settled?
Yeah, I mean, the players had a lot to do with it. We did some really good things, but I think, just in general, we just became an all-around better baseball team, and I think, it really showed itself in two things. Just we pounded the strike zone from a pitching perspective, took advantage of a very, very, very good defense. And then I thought as a base running team of just kind of imposing your will on the other team from that little part of the game, like we did an excellent job of, and it carried over into a lot of other areas on our team that just lead to wins.
That's right.
Obviously, it doesn't come down to just one guy, but Alex Bregman. I mean, days after just signing a monster contract, he asks for reports on every single one of his teammates so that he can study up on that guys. Like, what does that say about what kind of a guy he is?
Yeah, it's Alex's attention to detail that kind of grabs you, and that attention to detail is all about how does it help me win? And he's just, that's who he is. That's what he obsesses about, that part of the things, trying to give every advantage he can just to win a baseball game. That's what stands out the most. In the press conference after he signed, the thing I noticed the most is he just kept saying win. There's lots of questions and they all centered around winning the answers, and that's just who Alex is, and that's what he believes in.
Talking about attention to detail, I want to ask you a question of just pairing analytics with there's so much of today and information with your in-game experience. And what I'm getting at is your bullpen management. The way you managed that bullpen last year was incredible, pal. And I just want to know how much of that is preset. You certainly know what situations you want your guys in. How much are you balancing the analytics of the situation with your feel and the years of experience you have in that seat real time?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's for all managers. There's way more feel in that area of the game than information,
right.
And it's really, and that's why I always tell everybody, we need to get to know our bullpen. We need to get to know them as people and as how they recover and what they need from us, and that's why bullpens change throughout the course of the season. But they were phenomenal last year, and more than any other area on the team, the bullpen is a connected unit. I mean, you're relying on each other, and so you get the outs. For your next guy's job is easier. You don't get those outs. If you struggle in those situations, you make your buddy's job harder, right? And I think that's what you always want in your bullpen, is for them to understand how connected they are to each other, and that they make each other better. And the squad we had last year did a great job of that.
Let's keep talking about pitching, because you get a great addition in Cabrera.
Yeah.
How do you see him fitting into this rotation? And a tougher question, Who is the ace of the rotation?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to get like talent the level of Edward Cabrera, and I think that's what made us so excited about acquiring somebody like that, is that this is a really talented kid. He's kind of in, we feel like that sweet spot in your career where he's had 4 years, 3-4 years of major league experience, started kind of turning the corner last year, we felt like, and the talent just is kind of top of the echelon type talent, and those are fun guys to work with. That's kind of number one. You know, ace-wise, you know, you're not going to get me to answer that, but like
I had to try, Greg.
But
I had to try.
Yeah. But I think what's good is that you're thinking about a number of people,
Sure.
you know, and so we got a number of people who we can answer that question with, and that's what makes a good starting rotation, right? It can't just be one guy. We had a number of guys. Matt Boyd had a heck of a year last year. Cade Horton, you know, people say, well, what more can Cade Horton do? I'm not sure you really need to do much more than Cade Horton did last year. Like that's pretty darn.
11-4 with the 2 6s already.
Pretty darn good. So like, you know, we had some guys set up really high bar, just for themselves even, and they put some standards that are going to be fun to ask them to live up to again.
Greg, best of luck this year.
All right,
buddy.
Jake. Nice to see you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't know, Jake. The Cubs winning their first pennant since 2016, that seems like a safe choice to me.
Safe choice. I don't know. The defending champs, Dodgers. There's a lot of good teams in the East, in the Central. The Cubs can win the pennant. There's no doubt. But I think
everything on that prediction list could come true.
Certainly it could. Certainly it could. This team is very talented. In my opinion, the most complete roster in the Central. It will be a surprise. Cincinnati, Milwaukee not going anywhere. I will be surprised if this team does not stand alone in the NL Central.
Okay, give me something that's not on that list.
Well, I think they're going to do a lot of winning. And I saw this young man come on the scene last year, and especially down the stretch in the postseason. Daniel Palencia will lead the National League in saves. This young man is electric, understands the closer's role, leads the National League in saves. Yeah.
Okay, I got a crazy one for you.
What you got?
Dansby Swanson with a 30-30 season.
Okay.
He had a career-high 20 stolen bags last year. He also had his most homers since he left the Braves with 24. I think that, coupled with the dad strength, is that a real thing?
The dad strength is a real thing, but let me tell you a real thing, work ethic. We've watched Dansby Swanson, we watched Alex Bregman getting carted around here doing every last drill that they could do with all their teammates. When you watch the guys who are that established work like that, you got to think big things are coming.
The energy around here, though, is cool and collected, and I would say that's a huge credit to Craig Counsell.
You certainly see that the Counsell effect is real, and he's comfortable now. You see the former players and alumni walking around and him welcoming those guys and letting them be their own selves. But then you're watching the players. I'm watching his interactions with his leaders, with the youth of PCA walking around here. A lot to be excited about on the north side, that is for sure.
Well, that is going to do it for us from Cubs Camp, 30 clubs, 30 camps. He's Jake Peavy. I'm Siera Santos. We'll see you later.